Hi, this is A New Nigeria with Wale Oluwade. This is your current affairs program where we critically examine those strategic issues that bedevil Nigeria's developmental aspirations and boldly offer simple, practical, but audacious ideas on building the Nigeria of our collective desires. I have a guest today with whom we shall examine a couple of issues, both global and within Nigeria. But before then, here's my opening comments on what I've titled Governor Seyi Makinde and the Alaafin Throne. Now, not many governors are fortunate to appoint one first-class king, but Governor Seyi Makinde has appointed 4 first-class and highly revered kings amongst others. Let me restate. Governor Seyi Makinde has had the singular distinction of being the only governor in all of Yoruba history, in my little research, to appoint and crown 4 preeminent Yoruba Obas. The governor, that is Seyi Makinde, has presided over the appointment and coronation of 2 Olubadan of Ibadan. The first being Oba Lekan Balogun, the 42nd Olubadan of Ibadan, who reigned from 11th March 2022 to 14th March 2024, before he joined his ancestors. And the second Olubadan appointed and coronated by Governor Seyi Makinde is Oba Owolabi Olakunleyin, the 43rd Olubadan, who ascended the throne on the 12th of July 2024. Now, Governor Seyi Makinde has also appointed the 21st Shoun of Ogbomosho, Oba Gandhi Olaoye, who succeeded the 48-year reigning monarch, departed monarch, Oba Jimoh Ajagungbade Shoun of Ogbomosho land, who joined his ancestors. So, Oba Laoye, 21st Shoun, ascended the throne on the 8th of September 2023. As if that wasn't enough, early this year, the dust was finally laid to rest. The dust was finally laid to rest on the raging Alaafin Obaship contest. So early this year, Seyi Makinde appointed the 46th Alaafin of Oyo in the person of Oba Abimbola Akeem Owode, who succeeded the 53-year reigning departed monarch, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, the longest reigning monarch in history of Yoruba Obaship. So Oba Owode ascended the throne 10th of February 2024. He was given the staff and certificate of office. Now, some men are born great. Some have greatness thrust upon them. Governor Seyi Makinde, in my opinion, belongs in the latter category of humble beginnings, but equipped with a strong sense of rightness and belief in the preservation of Yoruba ideals and ethos. I have a deep sense of gratitude to the Almighty God who put Governor Seyi Makinde in office as governor at such a momentous epoch as this. I shudder to imagine what could otherwise have been if a person of less sterner and noble pedigree was governor for your state. Now, our traditional institution in Yoruba land is daily being eroded and diminishing in respect, grandeur, and majesty with the emergence of political obas. But even worse, some of these obas are not better than, pardon my use of the word, area boys. Yet they parade themselves as royal fathers, but manifestly are lacking in personal dignity, comportment, discipline, and wisdom. These are the defining attributes of true royalty. All the sons and daughters of Odua, home and abroad, must be careful going forward. Let me state for the records, while all princes can become kings, but not all princes qualify to be kings. To be born a prince is biological, but qualifying to become a king is by personal conduct. In contemporary times, as in ancient days, we see how certain princes assume kingship positions, but diminished, and destroyed the institution of royalty by their peasant conduct. A king doesn't become royalty because they sit on a golden chair or have a paper with ink or carry around a wooden rod as staff of office, or wear a crown. Even royalty is conferred by personal conduct, and royalty emanates from within rather, than from without. Royalty does not come from anything external. Now, as I round up, I hereby re-echo the words on marble of Governor Seyi Makinde, who said, while handing over the staff of office to Oba Akeem Owode, the Alaafin of Oyo stool is not for sale. But I expand this to say, Yoruba Obaship stools are not for sale to anyone. I pray other governors now and in the future will hear and learn from these immortal words. God bless Governor Seyi Makinde, God bless Yoruba land, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Amen. I also want to thank Professor Wande Abimbola for the great role he played in the emergence of Oba Abimbola. I also encourage all Yoruba sons and daughters to read Professor Toyin Falola, great historian, his brilliant article on the new Alaafin, the stool, and all of that. I commend that article to every Yoruba son and daughter. Now, that's my opening remarks. I'll take this short break, and when I return, I'll sit down with my guest for a conversation. Please stay with me. Welcome back. Like I said in the introduction, I have a guest today, and my guest is Dr. Chijioke Uguoke, barrister at law, entrepreneur, public affairs analyst. Doctor, good afternoon.
Thank you, Ole.
Nice to have you on the show. This is your debut.
Yeah, in this program, yes.
Nice to have you.
I've been following the program. It's a wonderful one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done,
Thank you. I like your analysis on some of our sister programs, so I felt it was the topic today suits you very well.
Okay.
Okay, barrister, without further ado, let's start from America. President Donald Trump, barely 3 weeks, going on 1 month. 28th of this month will make it a month. He was inaugurated as the 47th president. Now, expectedly, nothing pretty much he's doing would be a surprise to anybody. He said it during the campaign trail, what he was going to do, mass deportations, and he was going to govern pretty much by executive orders. So there's been a rush of these executive orders, So you've seen import tariffs being slammed on the great shock for everybody globally that is sending shock waves through the whole world, especially in the Middle East, is this utterly grotesque proposition to move 2.2 million Palestinians away from their homeland, put pressure on Jordan to take 1 million or so, put pressure on Egypt because they give them aid, and then to go turn Gaza Strip into, sort of a French riviera. My brother, please, can you explain to viewers? You are a major Trump supporter I've seen you, Please, can you tell us what's going on with America? What's going on?
Nothing that shouldn't be expected.
Okay.
Yeah, he made all these points clear. He's a very sincere and blunt person. That's particularly why so many do not like him, because the world is filled with hypocrites and pretensions. Unfortunately, Trump is somebody special in terms of putting out what he wants to do and then putting it the way it is. So, and he has gotten the whole time on his hands. He had just 4 years. So you can see some kind of frenzy because he wants to do as much as possible with all his promises. And there's none that sounds strange so far. Even the birthright citizenship, he mentioned during the campaign, that in as much as I believe that's a serious gamble, not likely to succeed with that because it's purely constitutional. So I don't look at it as something that he really, he just wants to raise the issues and give it serious attention. Then the tariffs, he wants to rejig the American economy. Because by the time your economy is strong, your nation is strong, it don't stop you from collaborating with other nations. And when I say me first, doesn't mean I cannot work with Wale. Put your house in order, I put my house in order, and then we can always talk. So, and for us in Africa, I was expecting that to be good news. Good news in the sense that we have somebody on the scene who doesn't care. So the WTO can go to places as far as it is concerned. So for us, who have an economy already overwhelmed by imports, we can as well begin to employ the same methods, and nobody will harass you because it's in the air. For instance, our textile industries could be revived through tariffs. The raw materials that go away from Africa without any kind of restriction could also be held back by tariffs. So we beef up the value and make money out of these things. So tariffs is not a new, it didn't coin the language, it has been there, and people have been using it since for a long time now. So then talk about Gaza. You know, this is a narrative between two groups of people, the Jews and the Arabs. If it weren't for the Holocaust, maybe we'll be talking about the Balfour Declaration, we're talking about 1948 and 1967 and all those stuff. But now, if you look at it from the narrative of the Palestinians, look at it also with the narrative of the Jews. And then ask yourself, what is Trump thinking? Because if you don't read his thoughts very, very well, you might just be looking at chaos. And they all have a pattern, and they're all very harmonious. Now, in the perspective of the Jews, the land called Palestine belonged to them. Arabs poured in from around them to occupy the territory. So the people you call Palestinians are Arabs who strolled into the area called Israel, or where area that Israel, the people of Israel are claiming. So when 1948 happened, and there was that war, many of them left, many were expelled. Now, we're talking about a two-state solution, which hasn't happened after how many years? Now, the hostility continues. So I think what Trump is trying to do is to bring this whole chaos in the Middle East to a permanent cessation by creating some kind of homes for these Arabs in these two countries, Egypt and Jordan. You're not going to wipe them away to some strange place. Assuming there were another Jewish country during the Holocaust, there would be so much clamor for that Palestine. But the Jews had no single place again on earth to call home. But these Arabs have the whole of Saudi Arabia, the whole of Egypt, Jordan, and these countries. They are one kit and they are kit and kin. So I think the whole idea is, if it is possible for them to get assimilated in these countries, then let us establish some kind of neutrality.
Sorry,
in Gaza, yeah.
I get you, and I'm sure viewers are also following. But Chijioke, the preposterousness of this idea, let's dial back a little, because if we go further than 1948, it will not end, because from biblical times, the battle for the contestation for land between this tribe and that tribe, you know, we would go even pre-biblical era. So let's just stop at 1948. There was nothing called the State of Israel prior to 1948, when the British, Americans supported Jews to come, and then they started coming in droves, started coming from all over the world, especially, you know, because of the Holocaust started coming, you know, created an homeland. Now, successive U.S. presidents have sat with both leaders of the Jews and the Palestinians to say, let's have a two-state solution. Yitzhak Rabin with Bill Clinton, you know, I've forgotten the accord.
Camp David Accord.
God bless you. Camp David Accord. Eventually, Yitzhak Rabin was shot, you know, Yasser Arafat died. Now, hardliners on both sides have ensured this has not really materialized. But I have never heard a U.S. president, either Reagan, who was Republican, Bush first Republican, Bush second Republican, or successive Democrats, Clinton, Obama, even Biden. Nobody has ever suggested, because what President Trump is suggesting is so grotesque. It is inconceivable. You are uprooting people from their ancestral lands. Their mosques have been devastated. Their culture, tradition, you know, heritage devastated, homes devastated, everything, you know, by war. Let's say it was an act of a provocation from the Hamas that led to all of that. Rather than talking about rebuilding Gaza. My brother, when Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened, the nuclear weapon, atomic bomb was dropped in those two cities in Japan. The world rebuilt Japan, and they didn't ship Japanese out from Japan. When Germany was leveled, pulverized, pretty much what Israel did in Gaza, America spearheaded the Marshall Plan to rebuild Germany, to stand alone. They didn't ship Germans away from German territory. So this idea is evil, and I'm trying to be civil by calling it evil. It is grotesque in the mere thought of it. My brother, that is one. Deal with this, and also, before I forget, Trump isn't just doing all of this stuff. The birthright citizenship, like I agree with you, is not going to fly because you need constitutional amendment, and that's one of the most difficult things to get done in U.S. Congress. But pulling out America from WHO, pulling out America from, what's it called, climate accord agreements. But let's leave climate accord. I have my own issues with this hypocrisy about, let's focus on WHO. And then stopping USAID through Elon Musk. The good work USAID does all over the world. My brother, in a few minutes, deal with this, please.
The first thing I want to tell you about
Yes.
ancestral
Land
is that throughout history, we believe that most settlements began one day
Absolutely.
in history. If you go to America, most Americans are not West
Of course,
Indies.
they came there and moved out the Incans, the Aztecs, and the American Indians.
This problem in Middle East has become intractable. Over the years, and somebody is talking about a permanent solution. It takes somebody like Trump to do things like Trump. Ronald Reagan handled issues the way he did. The Star Wars and what he did himself was also quite audacious and brave. Now, Trump, over the years, when American presidents had this hesitation about moving this capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, he did it. Now, this time around, he's saying, let us bring this thing to an end. What he said is that if you allow Gaza to be rebuilt the way it was with Hamas there, this crisis will come again. It will never end. And these people will not have peace. His interest in the people of Gaza having peace, permanent peace for themselves in some other native lands. Like I said, the whole of the Arab territory is their ancestral home. It's not limited to that small strip called Gaza. Now, the second thing we talked about is
WHO.
WHO. Now, you just look at these organizations. If you are not very careful, you believe that when these liberals come out with their nice words, compassion and pity, love and whatever, they mean what they are talking about. I'll give one example where you should take some of this with a pinch of salt. When the invasion of Ukraine happened, there was crisis of grain all over the world. And these Europeans, we are screaming, Africa, 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 Africa. Oh, bring out these vessels, take grain to Africa. Eventually, Russia opened the way, and they took some ships. None of them came to Africa. None of them came to Africa. Now, you said, according to...
No, let's stay on this
WHO.
WHO. Look at what WHO did, the role WHO played during COVID. The supervisory role, the pioneering role, to come up with a COVID vaccine.
You know why Biden...
Do you want to discountenance that?
You know why Biden had to give Anthony Fauci preemptive pardon?
Yes.
Because of the evil people like him perpetrated during the COVID era.
You actually agree Anthony Fauci perpetrated evil?
Yeah, I had a lot of people who had COVID around me, and what cured them hydroxychloroquine, what we call chloroquine here. They knew that chloroquine could cure COVID. But because if you have a curative cure, you have a curative medicine for any disease in America, you cannot fund the vaccine production.
Absolutely.
So they suppressed this fact that they knew was true. I'm quoting the former Ben Carson, or what's his name again?
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson, I'm quoting him. He said they suppressed that info. They knew that it was efficacious, but because they needed that funding for the vaccine.
Barrister, I humbly disagree with you. That's Republican double speak. That's just hypocrisy. That's
okay, now
just
in
lies.
Africa, in Nigeria, for instance, they said we are going to have dead bodies on the streets. Now, all indication at the beginning of COVID was that it was not going to impact on us the way it impacted elsewhere. But because they needed that kind of funding, the Serbia to release funds for this purpose. And these funds are sometimes pushed down to Africa, pushed down to the third world country, and scoot back one way or the other. Now, tell me an example of one thing, tangible, long-lasting, that you said has done for the poor in Nigeria.
HIV, antiretroviral drugs.
Show me a vaccine.
Infants, maternal mortality reduction, or and then polio. Name it.
These are subheads to claim money. Now,
sorry, barrister. Sorry, barrister. Sorry to interrupt you. Really sorry to interrupt you. Because for the benefits of our viewers and the public, the programs such as this is purely. I don't do politics. If we do politics, tangential. This program is essentially developmental focus. SAFrica suffers great brunt of misgovernance, poor governance, and we have a lot of gaps in our health. SDGs, MDGs, and all of that. Infant maternal mortality, where are the highest? Are you saying barrister, are you saying has not been a great benefit? If we just limit it to antiretroviral drugs alone, do you know how many millions Africans depend on funding of antiretroviral drugs in Africa, not just Nigeria? Do you know how many millions?
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
A basic question.
Yes.
You are telling me that without you said, Africa couldn't have taken care of its sick people. You are telling me that if you said we are that important, we will still be where we are today after so many years of their place in Africa? Are you telling me that a Nigeria that had a Minister of Women Affairs couldn't have had a military dedicated to these things you are talking about?
The question you ask is very poignant.
We have a Minister of Health.
It's very profound. It's very profound. This is let's use Nigeria as a case study. We have 20 million out of school children. Let's say 15 million. We have education minister at the federal and all the states. Why do we have that? We have UCH. Just this week, I heard that patients are taking generators, buying diesel to go and get treated. This morning on one of the programs I saw, they're saying when you go to National Hospital in Abuja, you have to go with your own disposables. My brother, will you and I know how leadership has failed? But I don't want us to dwell too much on this.
Have you seen USAID intervene, like in National Hospital Abuja, to upgrade the facilities and do a lot of wonderful things that is sustainable? All we hear is HIV drugs. You are not sure of where they are coming from, their distribution, the beneficiary, you will never know. Vaccination and things like this are floating. Where have you seen that this is some kind of program that you and I can point to year after year, that this National Hospital Abuja is thanks to USAID?
No, I'm sure, they have their focus areas. They target, issues of human development index, not necessarily building infrastructure. But
why do we have so many
I think we'll come back and deal on this, but let's cross over the Atlantic to the United Kingdom. Our sister, Kemi Badenoch, last week she rolled out our immigration policy. And she's been criticizing Nigeria, and I support her on the criticism of Nigerian leaders, general misgovernance. I support her 100%. But when I watched the video live, I was stunned. I was taken aback. You know why? Because she's proposing that the time for indefinite leave to remain, the period, should move from 5 years to 10 years. We're talking about legal immigrants, people who come in legally, contributing, paying taxes, working their behinds off for the British system. Our nurses, our doctors, our teachers, name it. Highly skilled migrant programs and all of that. She's moving the time from 5 to 10 years. Then even to get citizenship or passport, from 10 to 15 years. What came to my mind is a movie I watched years ago called Django, played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jamie Foxx, and Samuel L. Jackson was the house slave, Why is it that it is Kemi, who got British citizenship from day one? The parents went there as students, and they gave birth to her. And they won because at that time, this birthright citizenship in America, they want to stop now. It was available in the UK also as of that time, And She got it. And she returned to Nigeria. For 16 years, she was a full-fledged Nigerian. Because she's talking about only people who contribute to making America, Britain, you know, and all of that. For 16 years, you never contributed nothing to the United Kingdom. Please, can you speak to this? What is driving this thinking? Is she trying to ape what Trump and the Republicans are doing? What's going on?
I don't know what she's aping, but Kemi has her issues. And I don't see me accepting to be happy with her undue and unnecessary criticism of Nigeria. It makes me somehow believe that sometimes we pay attention to conspiracy theories. Number one, you know, Obama was the most anti-African president America has ever had. Now, if you go to Ukraine, it was when they laid hand on a Jew that they triggered the conflagration there. So when you talk about Nazis in Ukraine and the president is a Jew, you begin to wonder, no, it can't be possible that there are Nazis working in Ukraine because a Jew is in charge. Now, this somebody from third world country. So if you want to deal with the poor countries of the world, and you look at the face, doling out this harsh, you cannot relate with it. So you know, these people, when they want to deal with you, Kemi Badenoch is another Barack Obama. So whoever are in charge of picking them, when they see them, they know them. She's one of them. So she is molded.
Why did Rishi Sunak of this? Why did Rishi Sunak, who became prime minister of Indian descent, why didn't he come up with this policy?
Yeah, we are talking about Kemi now because she's a Nigerian.
No, because I'm wondering.
Yeah. So
why?
So whatever she's doing is to weaken the bargaining power of the immigrants. You know, these Western people, when they say illegal immigrants, we don't want them, they simply want to achieve anxiety in the lives of these people because they need them. You saw what Germany did during the Syrian war. They were compassion, we love them, 1 million Syrians, bring them. Because they were having scarcity of labor.
Absolutely.
So, but they want you to operate from a point of humiliation. So you don't have bargaining power, you don't have a pride in you. So that's exactly what she's trying to advance. Wow. You are a lawyer working in UK, you are a medical doctor, offer your best. But you know you are not you don't have even full right. You don't have a settlement status. Despite what you are putting in, you can't be a citizen until after 15 years. This test on your psychology demeans you, reduces your bargaining power. This is the whole essence. And she knows that the people are affected are the kind of people that resemble her. But then, is she constrained to behave this way? Are her hands tied at the back? We do not know.
We do not know. Yeah. Okay, I'm told we're rounding up, but in a couple of minutes, we may still have to come back and deal with this, but let's touch on it. We'll come back to Nigeria. The House of Reps Committee on Constitutional Review says they received 31 memoranda to increase states to 67 if it passes. Yeah. What's going on, Barrister? Are we a serious people? In 2 minutes. We'll come back next week. But are we a serious people?
No, we are looking at two extremes.
Okay.
Some people say they want us to go back to the regions. Now, these people are saying we need to increase to 67. So whatever it is, if you go to Section 8 of our Constitution, subsection 1 to 8 to 1D, you find out that it will be easier for Trump to succeed with the birthright
citizenship than
to have more states created in Nigeria.
Okay, that's a nice place to leave it. Doctor, I want to plead with you next week. I think we need to come back, deal with this that we didn't touch on, this states creation agitation, deal with agitation, secessionist agitations, and then deal with these regional bodies that has proliferated across the 6 geopolitical, North Commission, Northeast, North Central, whatever, and people are saying all sorts of things, you know. I want us to sit down, take 30, 25 minutes to talk about it. I think we should do that, please, for the benefit of the public. But okay. I need to thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming to UK.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Now, that's the program for today. Thank you for spending your time with me. Like I always say, change requires action. Positive change requires positive action. And before I go, let me also appeal for your sponsorship of this program through either direct sponsorship or advertisements. You know, it costs a lot to keep this program on air, and that would really assist us, to keep informing and enlightening the viewing public. Thank you once again for spending your time with me. Follow me on my various social media handles, my X, TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch this video and all the other ones that are there. Drop me your comments. I'd love to hear from you. My name remains Olawale Oluwade. Bye for now. See you next time.